All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It is time for top of the morning here on the Urban Conservative. Let's go, y'all.
Hey, buddy, do you like NASCAR? Do you like a tribe called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Yo, what's good, son? You like pit bulls, say? You like solving Sudoku puzzles? Then you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Hey, buddy, if your car making a sound like this, you might want to get you some power steering fluid and check out the Urban Conservative podcast.
Are you repulsed by the idea of drag queen story time at your local library, but enjoy Carol Baskin TikTok memes? Then you would enjoy the Urban Conservative. Do you want to slap your boss and then go home and make yourself some golden brown pancakes covered in butter and freshly made warm boysenberry syrup?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It is time for top of the morning here on the Urban Conservative. Yours truly, Abdul Ali, rocking with you on this lovely Monday morning. If you haven't done so already, tuconservative.com is the website. What we do here at the Urban Conservative is to share conservative values and principles, as well as the benefits of conservative policies to urban communities across this great nation of ours. Again, tuconservative.com is the website to support what we do. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend. You are getting geared up for this holiday coming up, this Christmas, and you got all the gifts and good stuff that you need. I'm hoping that you're ready for a blessed and wonderful Christmas day. Folks, you know, one of the big things about what we do here at the Urban Conservative, and if you've been watching the show for a while, you know that our shtick here is that we want to understand reality beyond all narratives. And not all of those narratives tend to come from the left. Sometimes these narratives are uniparty in nature. And those who know, as the Bible says, those who have an ear, let them hear. But some of these narratives are uniparty in nature. Now, the person you see on your screen is Representative Kay Granger, who is a Republican from the state of Texas. She has been missing votes for months, okay? Months. Which is ridiculous because you cannot call out of your job and still have a job for months. Now, the Dallas Express is reporting that 81-year-old who represents Texas's 12th congressional district last voted in the House of Representatives on July 24th and has not voted since. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard me correctly. She has not done her job since July the 24th. Now, keep in mind, 81 years old is not a spring chicken. That ain't a summer chicken. That ain't a fall chicken. That ain't a winter chicken. That's on its last leg, should be at the house enjoying the golden years with the great grands and the grands chicken. That's what that is. So the Dallas Express is reporting that 81-year-old Kay Granger has missed votes since July, has not been doing her job representing the people. Now, as part of the investigation, the Express found that Granger's D.C. office phones went directly to voicemail, found no sign her local Texas office was occupied, and ultimately discovered, get this, she is a resident at an assisted living facility. Okay? I just want y'all to understand this. And this makes me absolutely livid as a Republican, and here's why. We cannot tout ourselves being the party of doing the will of the people when we allow someone who since July has been collecting full congressional pay in a $4,000 a month assisted living facility. Most American citizens cannot afford to be, when they hit this age, in a $4,000 a month facility. Okay. Now, check this out. This is being reported. When we received a tip from a Granger constituent who shared that the Congresswoman has been residing at a local memory care and assisted living home for some time after having been found wandering lost and confused in her former district, the Dallas Express team visited the facility to confirm whether she was residing there and to inquire how she planned to vote on the spending bill. Upon arrival, 2 employees confirmed that Granger is indeed living at the facility. However, the Dallas Express was not permitted to conduct an interview regarding the current spending debate in the House of Representatives and how or if Ms. Granger planned to vote. Now, Taylor Manziel, who is the assistant executive director of the facility, said, "This is her home," end quote. So I want y'all to soak that in. There is a point at which we on our side of the aisle have to be willing to call it out, okay? Being in a facility is not representing the best interest of the people. Being in a facility is not doing the job that you get $174,000 a year to do, okay? The fact of the matter is, and this is going to sound really raw, but this sounds very dirtballish. This sounds like a very dirtballish thing to do. You're going to go live in an assisted living facility, suffering from dementia while collecting a pension salary from the American taxpayer. Absolutely ridiculous. Not something that I think we ought to be doing. Here's a quote. "The lack of representation for the Congressional District 12 is troubling, to say the least, at a time when extraordinarily important votes are happening, including the debt ceiling, disaster relief, farm bills, and border issues. Kay Granger nowhere to be found. The margin in Congress is razor thin, and the lack of a Republican vote representing the 12th district in Texas disenfranchises 2 million people. We deserve better." That from the Tarrant County Republican Chairman Beau French in a statement to the Dallas Express. Now think about this. Everywhere you look, everywhere in the county, like Tarrant County and other counties, there are people who want to be represented well. We do. It is a certified fact on the Republican side, have a thin majority, and every single vote counts. Okay? State Republican Executive Committee man Rolanda Garcia said it is a, quote, "sad and humiliating way," end quote, for the Texas Congresswoman to end her 30 years in politics. First of all, why are we allowing people to be in politics for 30 years? What are we doing, people? This is not a Democrat-Republican issue. This is a we as the people got to recognize 30 years is far too long for someone to amass power, money, and influence in politics, which the framers of the Constitution and the founders of this nation were dead set against. Dead set against it. When you look at the United States, and the average salary in the United States is somewhere around 62, 65,000 a year, and Congress is making 174, something is wrong with that picture, folks. We'll be right back here on Top of the Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all don't go nowhere. This is absolutely nuts. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about the non-existent migrant crime, illegal alien crime that's happening here in our country. We'll be right back here on Top of the Morning. Y'all don't go nowhere. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at TU. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com.
This episode of The Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back here Monday morning on top of the morning here on the Urban Conservative. Yours truly, Abdul Ali, rocking with you. Now, okay. All right. I know you're probably having your morning coffee, your morning biscuit, sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, or your egg and cheese bagel, or your donut, or your soft pastry, or whatever it is you're having. This is a little bit of a rough one, okay? And the reason this is going to be a rough one is because we're going to have to talk this morning a little bit about this whole idea of coming to our country as an unaccompanied minor illegally, okay? The gentleman you see on your screen, okay, has been arrested in Texas for homicide, for murder, okay? And this is a gentleman that came to our country as a Honduran migrant, entered as an unaccompanied minor, is now facing charges in Harris County, Texas. He was ordered removed from the United States by an immigration judge in 2010. Here we are 14 years later. 14 years later. He was ordered removed by a U.S. immigration judge in 2010 after failing to show up for scheduled hearings, according to ICE. Okay? The Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force arrested 33-year-old Alex Mejia Pineda in Huntsville, Texas, on a charge that he participated in the murder of Eric Eduardo Zavala Flores. This according to Fox 26 News in Houston. I don't get it. They don't let American citizens who have DWIs or other crimes go on the run for 14 years. Prosecutors say that Mejia Pineda and co-defendant Alex Herrera Calderon, a 24-year-old U.S. citizen, shot Zavala Flores in the parking lot of a bar in Northeast Houston. Police found the victim's body in a burned truck in San Jacinto County. A spokesman for ICE and the Removal Operations Task Force in Houston told Breitbart, Texas, that Mejia Pineda entered the U.S. illegally as an unaccompanied minor. Okay. We need to figure this out, folks. Okay? At what point are we going to say enough is enough? As if we don't have enough crime from native-born Americans to deal with. As if we don't have enough stuff to deal with, we're going to have to add on, compound the illegals. ERO officers joined with the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force and the Walker County Sheriff's Office to take him into custody on December 16th. Okay, they again are charged with the murder of Zavala Flores. Mejia Pineda is being held on a bond of $500,000. ERO officers placed an immigration detainer on the suspect to ensure he could not get released on bond. Court records obtained by Breitbart and other outlets indicate his next court appearance is scheduled for February 13th, 2025, in the 262nd Criminal District. Judge Lori Gray presides over that district. Court records also show the co-defendant's bond is set at $100,000, and his next court date is January 16th in the same court. We cannot put the border czar to work fast enough. We cannot put Tom Homan to work fast enough. And I'm not saying this from the perspective of we got to get the aliens. No. Listen, I think there's a difference between somebody who is really trying to escape hardship and poverty and persecution in their country and somebody that comes to a land like this and finds themselves doing the things that he did. You got to go. You got to go. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a Honduran who came here as an unaccompanied minor, as a dreamer. as a matter of fact, to conduct this type of crime in our country. Just think about what this says. What message does this say to people who come to this country the right way, who wait in line, do everything the right way? What does this say about them? Good question. All right. So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take one more quick commercial break. We're going to come back and talk a little bit about North Carolina. The Democrat Party is still in upheaval. Y'all don't go nowhere. It's the Urban Conservative. It's top of the morning. We'll be right back. This season of The Urban Conservative is brought to you by Homium, helping to build generational wealth for historically disadvantaged groups, low-income households, and first-time homebuyers. Homium is helping to bridge the affordability gap for home ownership in your community. Visit homium.io. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back. It's top of the morning on a Monday morning here on the Urban Conservative. Yours truly, Abdul Ali, rocking with you. Best morning show on the interwebby webs. This gentleman that you see on your screen happens to be a Democrat in the great state of North Carolina, happens to be in the state legislature. His name is Cecil Brockman, who represents Guilford County. This gentleman is blasting his own party, okay? They're using him as a scapegoat, sending angry mobs after him for not showing up for last week's veto override vote. Brockman did not attend the floor vote, but rather prioritized his health after learning all Republicans were expected to back the override of Senate Bill 382, which means it didn't matter if he showed up or not. The anticipated unanimous Republican approval meant there was enough support to override the governor's vote without a single Democrat altering the outcome. Brockman says because he didn't show up, the party sent people after him following the chamber's veto override vote, even as he opened up about his mental health struggles. Quote, the depravity of the establishment within the North Carolina Democratic Party knows no bounds. But let's do one better. Let's look beyond that quote and let's look at the entire statement that he made. This is Rep. Brockman's statement on the veto override. Quote, last Wednesday, I was sick and I gotten word that the vote was likely to be unanimous, so I prioritized my health. The depravity of the establishment within the North Carolina Democratic Party knows no bounds. After gathering the strength to share with the world about my struggle with mental health, the party has sent angry mobs after me. Now, for all of my Democrat friends, this is not the Republicans he's talking about. Even after wasting more than $500,000 on a failed Democratic primary to defeat me, the state Democratic Party still does not respect the will of the voters in District 60, who made their voices clear about who they want to be their representative. I simply asked the party to respect the will of the voters. Meanwhile, as the party continues to prioritize attacking me and spreading lies within my community, the North Carolina Senate continues to maintain its supermajority, and the North Carolina House is just one vote shy of a supermajority. I genuinely question the strategy of the Democratic establishment, who prefer to scapegoat a member of their own party to shift the heat off of themselves for an outcome they failed to change. Hashtag that part. So think about this, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm saying this as someone who wants to see Mr. Brockman do well with his mental health. I want to make sure that any elected official who is in a position that needs to prioritize their own health, that they do that. Just think about what this says about the current Democrat Party. Think about what you're hearing about the Democrats in Mecklenburg County, where they're being called out for the white supremacy within the own party. And in this particular case, the man said the votes weren't there. Y'all didn't have the votes anyway. Now, there can be a question asked about why are you representing the people if you have a quote unquote mental health issue? That could be stress. That could be, I don't know, depression. I don't know what it is. It's not disclosed in the statement. But I want to say one thing to Representative Brockman, and for those of y'all who are watching to maybe get this to him, let's have a conversation. The Republicans are not what you think they are. The Democrats are exactly what we all know they are. Let's have a conversation about how you can do some positive things to represent the people of your district. Work alongside Phil Berger and Paul Newton. Work alongside the new Speaker of the House, Destin Hall, and others to make sure that we're representing the best interest of the people. But that, ladies and gentlemen, goes to show you who the real pressure tactic players are, who the real racists are, who the real bigots are, who are the ones that do not want these representatives to think or best represent their constituency, who they want to have representing the best will of the party, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. All right. So we hope you will join us tonight for the Urban Conservative Podcast. We hope you have a positive and productive Monday. This has been Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. Yours truly, Abdul Ali, rocking with you. We'll see you tonight for the Urban Conservative Podcast. Peace and love, y'all.